Know from whence you came. If you know whence you came, there are absolutely no limitations to where you can go. James Baldwin. I hate Henry Louis Gates, Jr. Okay, I don't. I love him. But can I at least say that he is guilty of assault and battery on my ego? That he has a talent for inflating the egos of others only to deftly and without warning pop them, and then to sport a rascally grin as if to say, "What, did I do something?" And what was the transgression committed by this public intellectual, this Harvard professor of African American studies, this award-winning filmmaker and author and editor of dozens of books? It was calling me up and offering me a dream, saying something like, "Cory, hey man, I've got this show called Finding Your Roots, where we trace the ancestry of two individuals." I knew about these shows, of course. The premise was to select well-known personalities, Oprah, Chris Rock, Barbara Walters, John Legend, Martha Stewart, and through research, DNA testing, and more, unearth their genealogical roots. The stories were fascinating and often shocking, complete with reveals in which guests lit up with joy or were struck with astonishment at the realization of who they are and where they come from. Many guests wept at the revelation. I think the good professor likes to make people cry on TV. I figured he was calling to invite me to a premiere. "Well, we decided to do a special about two elected leaders," he said, "and I want you to be one of them. Interested?" I almost dropped the phone. "Interested? Are you kidding? I'd love that, but are you sure?" He responded with something like, "Absolutely. I thought it would be good to get someone from your generation, an up-and-comer," and so on. He went on saying such nice things about me, I didn't care whether or not they were true. They were compliments from a man I looked up to. As we talked, I was full of excitement at the prospect of having my genealogy traced. Then I thought of something. "Can I ask, who are you pairing me with on the show?" "John Lewis," he said. I said nothing. I might have stopped breathing. He repeated the name deliberately, perhaps to fill the silence, or maybe just to stick it to me a bit more. John Lewis. Congressman John Lewis is a living legend and a hero of mine, and to many. He was born a son of sharecroppers outside of Troy, Alabama. Inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Lewis left Fisk University to go to the front lines of the civil rights movement in America. He helped found and was eventually named chairman of one of the most important civil rights organizations of the time, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or SNCC. Lewis organized voter registration drives and sit-ins. He led freedom rides. He was a keynote speaker at the March on Washington. More than once, he was beaten during his nonviolent protests. He was renowned for his humility, self-sacrifice, and leadership, and was seen by many as one of the most courageous people in the civil rights movement. Today, Lewis serves in the House of Representatives. Thanks to his moral stature, his grace, his statesmanship, he is considered the conscience of the Congress. All of which is to say that Henry Louis Gates Jr. had envisioned a show in which he would partner Jimmy Olsen with Superman. I did the show, and this is a phrase I don't throw around lightly. It was life-changing. I'm profoundly grateful to Professor Gates for the opportunity, but of course any viewer could detect the difference between our two introductions. In my head, I heard the announcer in a deep TV-ready voice say, "John Lewis, hero of the civil rights movement, marching with grace and determination from Selma, Alabama to the Edmund Pettus Bridge on what would become forever known as Bloody Sunday. He stood at the front lines of history, leading peaceful protesters, courageously standing and praying before Alabama state troopers. The troopers fired tear gas, then swarmed into the crowd, wearing gas masks and swinging billy clubs, hitting marchers, striking John Lewis in the skull. The righteous and courageous man literally bled the southern soil red for freedom." And then in the same splendiferous voice, "And Cory Booker of suburban New Jersey, riding his big wheel towards his family's 5-bedroom, 4.5-bath house. He takes a sharp turn. Oh no, he falls off, skins his knee, and runs home screaming for his mother. He literally bled the northeastern soil red for for big wheel riders everywhere. Like I said, I don't hate Henry Louis Gates Jr. because he managed to put my life in perspective, in light of what came before, in light of where I came from, in light of our collective American heritage. Perhaps he didn't know it, or perhaps he did, but this invitation and his revelations about my family gave me my first full glimpse of the beautiful, seemingly infinite lattice that connects us all. It compelled me to look closer to see how my family's journey intersected with and almost immediately benefited from John Lewis and all those who marched onto that bridge. Their collective courage, leadership, and love helped to unlock a literal door for me and my family. They helped to secure for my family and me a New Jersey home.